Let's talk about betrayal. When your family cooperates with law enforcement, it's not something most people have to deal with, which is why it's not talked about very much. But it happened to me, and I need to process it because it's so devastating. It happened 10 years ago, but the damage done is forever. Now, the prosecution that they cooperated with was complete bullshit and went nowhere, but the betrayal is forever. Think about that. If you are, if it comes up, if you're gonna think about betraying your own family and cooperating with law enforcement, that the gain will be incredibly minimal, most likely. What is your testimony gonna add to their case, right? Are you gonna help the state a little bit with something they probably don't even need anyway? And at the cost of ruining your relationship with that family member forever, then all trust is destroyed. You can never have anything to do with them anymore if you have been betrayed like this. That is the only logical and emotional reaction, the immediate reaction that I had, and I still have, is to shut them out as the most obvious thing. You cannot have anything to do with them again. Trust once destroyed can never be rebuilt. Cannot trust them. Cannot have anything to do with them again. So you should just move on, of course. But then things happen later, like other family members die, like my grandmother did this year, and there's a funeral, which I didn't go to, because you cannot handle getting anywhere near the others. It is devastating for the rest of your life. You have that separation. You're not part of any kind of community with them. You have to realize how devastating this is, how extreme it is. You know, ironically, I was accused of being an extreme blogger. The only extreme thing about that case was that betrayal. That is something that there's no parallel to it that I know of. I never heard of a comparable betrayal. So, like I said, it's not something you talk about a lot because it doesn't happen to normal people. So I have to make sense of it by myself. I'm still struggling for finding the words to explain the depth of what this means and how they could possibly think that it didn't mean this complete destruction of any kind of relationship with them. Because apparently they weren't aware of that, like they thought it could be reformed or something and then come around to like everything would be normal or something. which it can never ever be. That is integral to my personhood and all my worth and self-esteem as a person, that you cannot let that slide. Because that would mean that I wouldn't take myself seriously as a moral person. Because I was accused of this non-crime, which was completely premeditated and exactly who I am, right? And my father wanted me removed from society for being myself. Because what I expressed is exactly who I am. It was accused to be a crime, but it wasn't a crime. It wasn't even a crime, right? But it is, in any case, who I am. This was premeditated my whole life, and now it has been post-meditated for 10 more years. And it's exactly congruent with everything I stand for, in harmony with everything I am as a man and as a moral person. So what it would have meant to somehow let this slide and act like I could still have something to do with my family would have meant to treating myself as a non-person. And I can't do that, because I am who I am. I am a male sexualist, or a men's rights activist, as I called it back then. That's the word we use. Now we use the word sexualist. So I advocate for sexuality against the feminist criminalization of sexuality. And it's such a peculiar type of activism in this society, because it is unique as the only activism that is against a completely non-contentious issue. Because to society, there is nothing to argue about here. Because everyone agrees that that sex is the worst thing in the universe, that you want to persecute as much as possible, with absolutely no limit whatsoever. Everything is fair game against sexuality, including, apparently, betraying your own family members. But even that doesn't happen to most people. So, I alone need to put a voice to this and process what is going on. It is truly mind-bogglingly extreme. It doesn't happen to others. This betrayal. It's another extra level beyond that witch hunt against sexuality. That feminism that is completely uncontroversial. But even if you agree with that, you don't cooperate with law enforcement against your own family members and then expect them to still have a normal relationship with you. That is what is so incredibly insane about this. This gaslighting that they sort of expect that I could sort of get over it. No. It is unforgivable. That betrayal is forever.